my son were always really close. Ever since me and my ex-wife had little Grayson, he has been my whole world. I can remember sitting by his crib one night and watching him sleep. I would put one finger on his tiny chest and feel his soft heartbeat. I was the happiest man in the world. As he grew older, I began to take Grayson to the park and would teach him how to throw a football. I guess that's where he got his love for the game. I mean, he really was a natural. Now, when Grayson was 10, my wife left because she said she fell in love with another man. She told Grayson that he could come over and stay with her anytime he wanted and gave him a kiss on the head and just walked out the door. He started crying and I picked him up in my arms and held him tight and I consoled him. He never really went and stayed with his mother that much. The few times that he would, Grayson told me that he didn't like his mom's new boyfriend. He told me he was mean. At 16, Grayson was in his junior year of high school. He was on the honor roll, star quarterback of the football team, and had a sweet girlfriend named Erin. He was really a great kid. It came suddenly. We didn't expect it. Grayson started complaining about these severe headaches he was having. I didn't think of it at the time. I should have. One day after getting home from work at the labor yard across town, I walked up to Grayson's room to find him seizing on the bed. I quickly called an ambulance and had him rushed to the closest hospital. They performed brain scans and MRIs. It was cancer. Brain cancer. I was shattered. Grayson was, of course, optimistic like he always was, even though every once in a while I would catch him crying softly into his pillow. I didn't know what to do. None of the treatments helped. Nothing of the medications worked. My son was basically wasting away. Grayson had lost his hair about a month ago, but he wouldn't give up though. I love that about him. Eventually, Grayson said that he did not want to do this anymore. No more treatments, no more medications, he said. I protested, but he was firm. He said he wanted to live the remaining time he had not puking in the toilet. He wanted to spend time with Erin. He wanted to enjoy the sunny days. He's so much stronger than me. The doctor said he had months at most. I sat there in the office and started crying loudly at that statement. On my way home, I was struggling to focus on the road through my tears. It was 8:30 at night, and as I was wiping a tear from my eye, a man walked out in front of the road. Now, I swerved to the right, skidding into the grass beside the road. Dazed, I opened my door and searched for the man. I wanted to make sure I had not hit him on accident. I walked to the street, nothing. All of a sudden, I hear footsteps behind me. I quickly whirl around to find the man from the road. He wore a black suit with a fiery red tie. He had slicked back black hair and a long hooked nose. His eyes were black. He walked closer to me as I took a step back. I asked him who he was.
"I'm here to make a deal with you,"
he said calmly. This man was crazy. You walk into the road, almost get hit by a car to make a deal with me? What do you mean? I asked curtly. He walked ever so closer to me, fixing his tie in the process.
"Your son has terminal cancer, right?"
he asked. I was dumbfounded. How did this stranger know about Grayson? How do you know about my son? I asked loudly.
He smiled. "I know a lot of things," he replied.
I stared at him blankly, not knowing what to say.
"I can save your son
You just have to give me something in return, he said, while putting his hands into his pockets. This man was crazy. Who did he think he was, God? Who are you? I asked. The distance between he and I shrunk to an arm's length. Do you want to save your son or not? He asked impatiently. Of course I do, I replied. He was almost an inch from me at this point. Then I require your soul, he said, looking down at me. This guy had to be at least 6 feet tall, by the way. What? I asked confusingly. The man ran his hands through his hair. It's not that hard. I require your soul in exchange for your son's life, he said frustratingly. At this point in the conversation, I noticed his mouth when he talked. I could have sworn I saw razor-like teeth, but I could be wrong. It was really dark. I was desperate. My son was going to die soon. I was out of options. Maybe this man could save my son. I took a leap of faith. Deal, I said. The man smiled a large, wide smile. Okay. Your son will live. Nice doing business with you, he said cheerily. Wait, how do I know that my soul is gone? I asked. He looked at me, his eyes seeming to grow blacker than they already are. You'll know, he said and vanished. I looked around trying to see where the man went. He was gone. I sat there for a moment trying to figure out if I had hallucinated all of that. Maybe I hit my head when I swerved off the road. I got in my car and continued home. When I arrived home, Grayson met me at the door. His hair had returned and he didn't look pale skeleton-like. He ran to me and hugged me tightly. He told me that he had prayed to God and asked him if he could just help him feel a little bit better. It's a miracle, he yelled and ran back into the house. I stood there, looking at the gravel driveway. I couldn't show any emotion. I didn't care that my son was cured. Honestly, I didn't care about him at all. He meant nothing to me anymore. All those memories we had together, the boy that I had poured my heart and soul into, the boy I would give my own life for, meant nothing. I'm writing this as Grayson and Aaron drive to the hospital to have his brain checked to confirm his condition. Is this a side effect of not having a soul? Not caring about your son? Who is that strange man? Help me, guys. I'm desperate.